What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Punch that button. Um, Give me some comments down below as I'm talking. If you agree or disagree with me, I'm fine with that. But today, in this particular show, I want to talk about when you get to that wedding and you've never seen the bride before, or you can't remember what she looks like. Yeah, it's the girl in the white dress, probably poofy and sparkly, probably showing a little chest, because it stops here. She's not wearing a purple dress like the bridesmaids, but you've never really. And you go hi, and she goes hi. You must be the DJ, and that's one of the things I like about our company at Upbeat Occasions is that the DJ they hire is the one that they're going to meet at the wedding. You know, God forbidding a major emergency like a hospitalization or something like that. There are companies out there, and if you're watching this and you feel horrible about what I'm saying because a bride hires your company because you're cheap and you tell her, oh, your DJ is gonna, I don't know who it's gonna be, but they're gonna call you 2 weeks prior to the wedding or a week prior to the wedding. I've seen situations where the bride never talked to the DJ, he just shows up. And I don't know. That's just not the way I like to do business. Never have. I like to show up. I like to have a. I've already built a rapport and a friendship and a relationship with the bride and groom. We've had a consultation. I met them out at Starbucks or for coffee, or maybe we had dinner, or you buy them lunch or something, and just build rapport. You have a good old time. Sometimes they'll bring their best man or maid of honor or whatever the case may be. Sometimes they even come with their parents, and you just when you get to that wedding that day, people are saying hi to you. Hey, Chris, how's it going? They know you, you know them, and it just makes for such a better night, a better relationship with the family and the bride and groom. Um, so you should have wedding consultations, bride and groom consultations to talk about their day, talk about you. Now, don't talk about you too much unless you're meeting them to compete against another DJ or a DJ company. And they may have interviewed 2 or 3 DJs. Say, we really like to meet you. We're trying to get a vibe, trying to get some compatibility to make sure you're the right DJ for us, and vice versa. You want to make sure that this is the right couple for you. Okay. So, but if this is not that, if this is um, the meeting because they've already hired you and they already know that they're going with you. Now you just want to meet them and build rapport and you want to have a consultation. So, what are you going to talk about at that consultation? You know, what are some topics? You don't want to get there and not have anything to talk about and only ask 1 or 2 or 3 questions and say, "Hey, I got this." No. So I'm going to go through a list of things I wrote down that I thought might help you, particularly if you're a new DJ, that might help you with how to run a consultation and what type of questions you should be asking. All right. So the first thing I go over is music preference. I want to know your favorite genres or your artists that you like and songs. The groom may like, Kentucky bluegrass, and the bride may like 90s hip hop and R&B. So you want to know what their favorite genres are and how to mesh those together. You want to take little notes on like, oh, in high school, I love Third Eye Blind, or I love, Blind Melon or something like that. I keep saying the word blind, but someone may love Nirvana, or they may have loved Mace or P Diddy or Jay Z, Biggie, Busta Rhymes. You just don't know. They might like 90s hip hop and R&B. A big Spice Girls fan, loved Madonna. So once you get all that, you take some notes, you may be able to surprise them during the event. Like, oh, I don't need to hear that at my wedding, but these are some of my favorite artists. And then just imagine right in the middle of there, you throwing some Sarah McLachlan for a slow song because she's like, oh my God, you remembered. One of the best reviews one time I had, she said, go ahead with the ceremony. You pick the music. Don't worry about what you play for each song, the recession and processional and all that kind of stuff. So she didn't really care, but she had mentioned a story about her father at the consultation. He had died, and at the funeral, they played Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the Hawaiian version. And I remembered that. And I remember um, she said, oh, that is such a beautiful song. I play it all the time. So I wasn't in fear of playing it for her recessional because I knew it wasn't a song that would make her sad, but it was more of a song that made her happy. And it was good times that she remembered with her father. But so I remember playing that song without her prompting me, with her telling me, play whatever you want. The wedding's not that important. We just want to get to the reception and have a good time. And I played that at the recessional as they were leaving. And she came over to me and was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you played that song. It was perfect." My mother cried because her husband had died. People just thought I was the best DJ in the world because I had the thought in mind to play something that would make the family happy and remember a strong man that was once in the family. So music preference is very important. I also like to discuss do not playlists, and I want to know why certain songs are on do not playlists. I don't want to hear, oh, that's cheesy, and I hear that at every wedding. Some people, I got a good friend of mine who he was at an age at one time, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, that he was going to like five, six, seven weddings in a year. And I'm sure by the time he got to wedding seven, he had heard the same songs at every wedding. And he was like, oh my God, when I get married, I do not want to hear, the Black Eyed Peas or something like that, whatever the case, because he had heard it so many times. So when someone says, here's my, we do definitely have a not playlist, and they throw 20 songs at you. It's probably just because they're tired of hearing them. But you want to know why? I'm more concerned about do not plays that may strike up some type of negative emotion. Like, oh, this is his second wedding, and that was he and his ex wife's first dance. Or he may not like it because it may bring up bad feelings because his mother died and that was her favorite song and he doesn't want to be sad at the wedding. So that's a little different from when I played the recessional because the bride had already told me the family loves that song and they play it all the time at almost every family event. So that is different than something that's going to strike up a sad or a negative emotion. I do not play this particular song because, and you just go whatever the reason is, and you take notes on that. And it may be certain genres that they do not like. I've had brides and groom go absolutely, positively no country music at my wedding, and I've also had, can we not do any rap music because I don't like rap music. My grandparents are going to be there. I don't find it appropriate. It may be a Christian wedding or a religious wedding where they do not want that kind of music. So you want to know the why. You just don't want to say, okay, do not play, and then have like 20, 30 songs written down. So you want to know about any special songs? Like I want to identify any important songs like the first dance, the parent dances, cake cutting, what they mean to them, why. The why is so important because they might have just picked it because they Googled best songs for a cake cutting, and you might come up with something better. They're gonna think, that's the you hear that? Okay, this is what happens when you do things on the go. Okay, Google, stop. That's what happens when you have Siri or Google in your room. All right. Anyway, let me continue. And see, I'm doing things on the fly. I'm not going to edit. This is how the Chris Wright show goes. All right. So anyway, you want to identify those special songs, um, the first dance, the parent dance, cake cutting, and all that kind of stuff. So, but you want to know the why. Very important. All right. Timeline. You want to go over the timeline. Now, a lot of you DJs out there, you have um, the online planners and all that's great, but it's still good to talk about them when you do the consultations, whether you do them early, when you meet them, they may be getting married a year from now. But also, when you meet with them again a week or two prior to their wedding, you want to go over that timeline again just to make sure nothing has changed, no songs have changed. In a year's time, great songs could come out. So you want to make sure that you go over that timeline again. So you want to create the schedule, key moments, ceremony, cocktail, dinner, reception, special dances, when all that is going to be. The best thing for your bride and groom is to know that you have everything under control. You know what I tell them? I am the master of ceremony, meaning I talk to the photographer, the videographer, the venue manager. I let everybody know that the DJ is the go to person and they know what's going on. Now, sometimes they say, well, we have a wedding planner. That's great. Then you coordinate and collaborate with the wedding planner too. But you want that timeline to be tight. If there's any changes or shifts, they may have told you something, and the wedding planner has a better idea. Okay, yeah, we can move this. You shift it up and down your list. This is how it's going to happen. You're going to talk about equipment needs. Determine what audio and lighting equipment that's going to be required for the venue. That's really, really important because they're like, okay, ceremony, how many people are there going to be? Any toasts, speeches? What kind of microphones do you need? Do you want a microphone stand or would you like a lapel? Hey, it's going to be windy that day. October weddings are typically windy sometimes. So maybe a lapel wouldn't work. Maybe a handheld works better. All that kind of stuff. You want to get equipment needs. Hey, is it going to be cocktail hour in another room? I want to make sure that you have the speaker and the setup for that other room. Is it going to be a nice day, like a nice September day where they may have a patio? Hey, if you're going to lose your crowd to the patio, make sure there's some music out there entertaining them. Even though there's no one on your dance floor, you're still going to have a what's considered a great time that the bride and groom is going to love you. You don't want them saying, I wish we had a speaker out here. All right, so you want to make sure you do that. Do a venue visit. Okay, I know that that's extra driving, but you're getting paid good money, $2,000, $3,000, $1,800, whatever it is. It's going to cost you, $2 in gas and a little bit of time to drive out, call the venue and say, hey, are you there? I'm the DJ. I want to get a lay of the land, know how to load in, load out, where I'm going to be set up, what this typically look like. I'm doing Michael and Kathy's wedding. Oh, and they may have a different setup for their wedding than they have for other weddings. So if you can do a venue visit, go ahead and do that. What are your backup plans? You want to prepare for the unexpected, like equipment failure. Do you take an extra laptop? Do you take extra speaker or speakers? Do you bring an extra, controller? All that kind of stuff, just to know that you are ready for any type of emergency. Did you bring a battery power backup generator? Anything like that? Make sure you have that. Your DJ set up. Know and coordinate where your DJ booth's going to be set up, what the optimal sound is. Did you get to the venue and realize, oh my God, this place is like a cavern, and everything's bouncing off the walls? So when they do their toast and speeches, are people going to hear them? How's it going to sound? So you want to make sure that you know what that sounds like. You want to know what announcements are going to be made. Talk about the announcements. Plan what announcements that you're going to make. If there's anyone else doing any introductions or announcements, are you bringing your assistant when you come that day? That way you can pass to your assistant what that's going to look like. When I say this, you press B. When I say that, you press this cue. You want this song, that song. So make sure that all the announcements are done. Who's doing toast? If there's going to be a blessing, and anything like that. Some venues, because it's a buffet, they may want you to announce tables. Every DJ company announce tables differently. Make sure that you know how you're going to do it on that day. Coordination with other vendors, that's really huge. Don't be that DJ that gets there and don't talk to anyone because you think you're the most important man or woman at the event and everyone else is a pain in the butt. Yeah, I know, guys. You don't like people plugging things in the back of your controller or into your mixer or in the back of your speaker. It's kind of annoying. Some vendors don't come with all the equipment that they need, so they need your computer. I've had situations where we want to show a video or a short slideshow on that screen. Can we do this and do that? Do you have an extra laptop? It can be annoying, but keep a smile on your face, be prepared, and if you did the planning right, you're going to get to the venue knowing that that's going to happen. So if you were annoyed prior to the wedding, by the time you get there, you'll be all set. It's the surprises that drive us crazy. Guest interaction. Decide how you're going to engage with the guests, such as taking requests or leading dances. Make sure you ask your bride and groom, are you okay with requests? If they say no requests, then you might want to tell them why requests are good and how that enhances the party. I know you club jocks out there, you bar disc jockeys, you don't like requests, but at weddings and private events, requests are the way to go. It enhances the party. Everyone has a good time. They're going to be talking about you. Hey, do you have a card? Because you fulfilled their dreams and they were very, very happy with you. Guest interaction. Another thing you can do during guest interaction is something I do is I walk around during cocktail hour, shaking hands and kissing babies. Of course, I don't really kiss them, but you know what I mean. I like to build rapport with the audience. I want to see who the fun people are. This little circle around the high top, having a great time, laughing and joking. This group over here may be quieter. You just want to figure out, and then when that's the people you go to, you want to shake hands, say, "I'm DJ Chris. You look like the fun group over here." And even if they don't look fun, you tell them that they look fun because you want them to feel comfortable coming up to you later saying, "Hey, can you play the Humpty dance?" I guess. Good song, right? Dress code. Understand what the dress code is. What if you're typically the type that wears like a tuxedo or a nice suit and you find out it's Maui theme and they say, oh, you kind of overdressed for this. We wanted you to come in, khaki pants and khaki shorts. And hey, will you wear the Hawaiian shirt? We bought some extras and we got a lay for you. So I'm going to put a lay around your neck. Know it. Hey, dress down maybe or dress up. So you want to know what the dress code is going to be and all the other vendors. You just don't want to always be the most overdressed person or the most underdressed person at this wedding. Travel and accommodations, arrange transportation and lodging. If you're taking a 2 hour trip, a 2, 3 hour trip, you might want to tell the bride and groom, I will require lodging because I'm not going to finish packing up to almost midnight and it's not really safe if I drive home tired and don't get home till 2 in the morning. So sometimes you will have the bride and groom set up lodging. Oh yeah, we booked, 36 rooms and one of them are for you. You're all set. Also know how long it's going to take you to get to that venue. And if the wedding starts at 5 and it's a 2 hour trip and you want it to be there at 3, make sure you leave at noon. For God's sake, give yourself extra time for getting pulled over by the police, getting a flat tire, having to call AAA, whatever it may take, just to make sure all the travel and accommodations talk about that in the consultation. Payments and contracts. You want to let them know. Now, if you work for a company where you don't handle payments, just make sure that you say, this is how the payment process goes. You're going to talk to our owner. She takes all the payments, and you want to make sure that your event is totally paid for 100% 2 weeks prior to the event. So maybe if you meet them 2 weeks prior to the event, you ask them at that time, hey, are you guys all paid up in full? Has there been any problems with the payment system, etc.? You don't want to make that a long drawn thing. If you're the owner of the company, then you can talk about that, talk about contracts. And also you want to be on the same page as the owner when they say, they told me I have uplighting and you didn't have uplighting on your planning form. You want to make sure that you have time to talk to the owner. Hey, did you notice I have uplighting? And they go, oh shit. Oh, I don't have enough uplights. I got you doing uplights. I have this person out with uplights. We need more uplights. But it will give you the time to alleviate that situation and make sure that your bride and groom have has the uplights that they paid for. If there's going to be a sparkler send off, make sure those will ordered. If you're going to have the light sticks or something like that for the crowd, make sure they're ordered and everything's in. You don't want to be finding out the day you're leaving, oop, we don't have any light sticks. So make sure you know what's in the contract and what they paid for, and that you're bringing all the equipment, whether even a monogram spotlight or something like that. Um, License and insurance. What if you're a private owner? You're not typically one to have insurance, and the venue calls you the week of. You get an email from the venue or the bride. Go, hey, the the venue needs a copy of your insurance. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you can get day of insurance. You can get it's more expensive, but it's not as expensive as carrying it for a year. If you only do a few events a year and you're paying for a full year of insurance, it might be best to get insurance for 30 days or 15 days or the week of or day of. But you can get liability insurance just for that day. I know it's a pain in the ass; it's an extra expense, but go ahead and do that. Um, so now I do some of my own events that I book and contract for myself, but the DJ company, they graciously allow me to do that. But if it's an event planned by your company, then you just want to call the owner of the company and say, hey, the venue needs a copy of our insurance. Okay, emergency contact. Provide a number where you can be reached in case of last minute changes. Make sure, and this goes both ways, make sure that on the day of you have an emergency contact of the bride and groom. Who do I call if I'm in an accident or I have to be hospitalized, to let you know that I'm going to be late? I've called my company. They're going to be sending out another DJ. Rarely happens. It might happen once in a green moon, but you want to make sure that there's an emergency contact because you may not be able to reach the bride and groom on the day of. Their maid of honor, the best man is their parent. That should be an emergency contact, and vice versa. Make sure that your bride and groom, someone at the party, has an emergency contact with you. Oh my God, the DJ fainted. The DJ choked on our cherry tomato. Who they got to know who to call to make sure that you're taken care of and that you're not dying at their event. So that would just be great. Of course, they're going to call 911, but when the ambulance arrives, they want to say, hey, who's the next of kin of the DJ? And someone at that party may say, this is his wife's phone number. Give her a call. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. When I was doing research for this podcast today, I didn't even think about that. But going forward, I'm definitely going to be um, giving points, emergency contacts to people. The final meeting, if you meet them early, you want to say, hey, we're going to have a final meeting a week or two prior to your event. Let them know when that's going to be, where it's going to be. And you want, now here's the thing. I, the closer to their wedding for me, the better. So I tell them, I want to do our final planning meeting on the week of your wedding, maybe that Monday or Tuesday. Because if you do, like, let's say your balls out from, let's say, August 1st through November 30th, you don't want to get weddings mixed up. Like, oh, or what about the back to back weddings? Wedding on Friday, wedding on Saturday. So you just want to make sure as close as possible that you've carved out and all those other ones are behind you. Now, I know the owner of my company, she likes to do it a month out of what good, good for her. But for me, just in the way my brain works, the closer to the wedding, the better. Everybody has their own fit in how they do that. Playlist preparation. You want to make sure that you get your playlist together, your playlist together for introductions, playlist together for special dances and ceremonial stuff, and definitely your playlist for open dance during the night. Have that. Don't, it's great. I mean, if you're a seasoned DJ, yeah, you have a whole play set in your brain, but it's also good that you don't forget to play some of the bride and grooms and the bridal party's favorite music because they will say DJ sucked because he did not play Chumbawamba, and I asked him to play Chumbawamba, and it was on our list, and he never got around to it. I've had brides, I've played literally 90% of their must play likes. Like these are songs you must play throughout the night. Come hell or high water, you got to play these songs. I've played 18 of the 20, and then they would give you a review saying you didn't play Chumbawamba. You're like, Jesus Christ, I played 18 of the damn songs. I didn't get to Chumbawamba. Can't be like that. So a must playlist is exactly that. You got to put it, you got to play it. Some of the DJs out there you might not allow a must playlist because you might not like some of the selections. But I guarantee you, if you got experience, you can find a way to play every single song somewhere, whether it's dinner, cocktail, dead spot in the night where there's less dancing, you can find a way to play every song on that must play list. Just don't give them too many. And the last thing you want to talk about in your wedding consultation is your professionalism, giving them a vote of confidence, giving them peace of mind that they hired the right DJ and that you are the guy. So, yeah, comments on anything I said, I would love to see them. Make sure you throw those down there. And I look forward to talking to you guys at on my next show. Like, subscribe, share, make sure everybody knows this. Hey, if you're a bride or a groom watching, you just wanted to get a feel for who I am, this is who I am. I'm a professional. Let's go. Talk to you guys later, man. Bye.